Natsuo wakes up next to Rui after losing his purity. Rui tells Natsuo that it is a one-time thing and there won't be any further contact, and both go their separate ways. Natsuo immediately rushes to see his best friend Fumiya, who is shocked to know that Natsuo lost his purity even though he has a crush on his teacher, Hina. Natsuo explains Fumiya that he attended a mixer with his school friends and ended up meeting Rui, who invited him to her home where they ended up getting intimate. The following day, Natsuo runs into Hina on the rooftop while she is crying. He tries to comfort her, but she avoids the subject, making Natsuo upset. He expresses his frustration and feeling different from his peers and almost confesses his love for her. But a sudden phone call on Hina's phone interrupts him. At home, Natsuo's father announces his upcoming marriage and his fiancée, along with her 2 daughters, who surprisingly turns out to be Rui and Hina. Hina is shocked to find out that Natsuo will be their stepbrother and introduces Rui as her younger sister. Natsuo almost reveals his past encounter with Rui but is silenced by Rui's glare. Tsukiko explains how she met Natsuo's father. While Rui leaves for the bathroom, Natsuo meets her there, and they discuss their situation. Rui refuses to object to their parents' marriage and tells Natsuo that it's up to him. Eventually, Natsuo agrees to his father's remarriage as it's been 10 years since his mother died. Natsuo's father announces that they are moving in a new house along with the Takabanas, shocking Natsuo. Later, Natsuo tells Fumiya about the events between him, his father, and the Takabanas. Fumiya reminds Natsuo that his pursuit of Hina may have to come to an end. The next day, Natsuo is helping Takabanas shift into their new home, and Hina compliments his hard work. Meanwhile, Natsuo feels weird to call Hina as her sister, but Rui worsens the atmosphere by warning Natsuo to forget their encounter and slamming a door in his face. Later, Hina gets drunk and passed out on the couch, prompting Natsuo to lean in for a kiss. Just as he is about to do so, Rui enters the room. Natsuo is plagued by thoughts of Rui catching him attempting to kiss her sister, Hina. He experiences a flashback in which Rui catches Natsuo as he appears close to Hina. She kicks her sister off the couch, dragging her into the room, saying that it is Hina's fault for letting her guard down. The next day, Natsuo's classmates pressure him to meet the new girl, who turns out to be his stepsister, Rui. When Natsuo tries to keep their relationship a secret, Rui assumes he's ashamed and leaves. Natsuo is conflicted and wonders if he offended Rui. Meanwhile, Hina appears and wonders if they may have kissed while she was drunk, but Natsuo declines. Natsuo tries to make amends with Rui, but she seems disinterested in making friends. Despite Rui's initial reluctance, Natsuo tries to help her make friends and they end up bickering like siblings. Meanwhile, her classmates witness her true personality, asking her to be friends with them. At dinner, the table is set with delicious foods made by Rui and Hina. Natsuo is amazed by the delicious taste and praises Hina for her brilliant cooking skills. However, it turns out that the food was prepared by Rui and Hina only made the salad. As they are having drinks, Natsuo and Hina get to spend some cute moments together until they are disturbed by a phone call made by Hina's boyfriend. As Hina heads out, she tells Natsuo not to follow her and that she'll be back in 20 minutes. Eventually, Hina comes inside the house but appears to be quite gloomy. Natsuo holds her and asks her what the problem is, but she remains silent. Soon, they are interrupted by Rui opening the door for their parents. After congratulating their parents on their marriage, Natsuo can't stop thinking about Hina's complicated relationship. However, the following day Natsuo visits his friend Fumiya again, who works part-time in a cafe. Natsuo tells everything that happened last night and seems upset about Hina's relationship with her boyfriend, on which one of Fumiya's friends advises him that he should have kissed her, yet Fumiya suggests listening to adult advice and assumes that Natsuo is feeling jealous and reveals that he had been going through the same thing. While they talk about jealousy, the three of them stage a fictional act, making a bizarre act scene. Afterwards, Fumiya and Natsuo head out. While walking, they witness Hina and her boyfriend. At night, Natsuo impulsively enters her room and confesses his jealousy, which leads to an ill-advised kiss. However, Hina slaps his face but helplessly kisses him back out of frustration, pushing him onto the bed, and as their eyes meet, she responds to him that Natsuo is still a child and tells him not to interfere with her life matters. Hina instantly regrets what she did with her stepbrother while Natsuo breaks down into tears. The following morning, Natsuo's father, Fuji, causes chaos upon finding his son's letter revealing that he has left the house. The family becomes worried, but it is later revealed that Natsuo is staying at Fumiya's house. After some conflict, Fumiya advises Natsuo to continue writing his novel, which he does. One rainy day, Natsuo spots Rui outside searching for him, and she asks to stay with him at a friend's house. Fumiya is initially upset but comes up with a plan to solve their problems. The next day, Natsuo returns home with Rui, causing Hina to break down in tears. Despite this, Natsuo whispers to Rui to carry out their plan. According to the agreed schedule, Natsuo and Rui took turns observing Hina's movements after school. They found that Hina visited a bar and watched a show by herself. However, their surveillance failed to uncover any information about the man Hina is dating, prompting them to execute the final phase of their plan. This involved taking Hina's phone in her absence and calling her boyfriend to urge him to end the relationship. Unfortunately, Rui's poor communication skills resulted in the call being abruptly terminated, and their mission remained unsuccessful. Later on, Natsuo and Rui convened at a bar to discuss their unsuccessful attempt. To their surprise, they witnessed Hina entering the same bar with a man. Their feelings of jealousy intensified, and Natsuo impulsively confronted the man, Shu Hajiwara, by grabbing his collar. A conversation ensued, during which Shu revealed that he is married and had been dating Hina for some time. Both Natsuo and Rui expressed their disapproval of Shu's behavior, telling him that he is being unfair to both his wife and Hina. Shu then confessed that he still had feelings for Hina and was willing to divorce his wife to be with her. Rui, on the other hand, threw a glass of water in Shu's face before leaving, while Natsuo praised her actions. The following day, Hina invited Rui and Natsuo to go shopping with her, but they declined the invitation. It was then revealed that it was the anniversary of Natsuo's mother's death, and he would be visiting her grave. During the visit, Natsuo reminisced about his past with his mother, and Rui and Hina unexpectedly joined him in offering prayers. Hina then reveals that she broke up with Shu. The following day, Rui is approached by a fellow classmate named Momo Kashiwabara. Initially hesitant due to her introverted nature, Rui eventually opened up to Momo, who gifts her a handmade item. During lunchtime, Rui's classmates noticed the doll, and, upon realizing that it was a gift from Momo, one of them threw it in the trash and warned Rui to stay away from her, claiming that Momo seduces boys. Despite this, Rui retrieves the doll and stands up for her friendship with Momo. Days later, Rui and Momo visit the library together and meet Natsuo. Momo immediately develops feelings for Natsuo, and when the three of them cross the road, Natsuo saves Momo from being hit by a car. Later, when Rui falls ill, Natsuo looks after her since there is no one else at home. Momo asks Natsuo out on a date after school, but he declines, citing he needs to take care of Rui. However, his classmate warned him about Momo's questionable character. Despite this, Natsuo spent time with Momo and even cooked her a meal when they were getting close to each other. The following day, their father is pleased to see that Natsuo and Rui are getting along so well. However, Natsuo's classmate warned him again about Momo. Despite this, Natsuo continues to spend time with her but realizes that he should not pursue a romantic relationship with her. Instead, he made her a nice meal since she had told him about her parents' constant fighting. Natsuo often spends his free time writing novels on the school rooftop. One day, his literature teacher, Ryoji Kirya, joins him and strikes up a conversation about their favorite authors. Later, Natsuo is approached by Rui, who requests his assistance in finding a club to join. Natsuo agrees, and they both end up visiting the literature club together. However, when Natsuo borrows a book without permission and returns to the club to return it, he witnesses his teacher and another student, Ashihara, engaging in a romantic encounter. Feeling embarrassed and caught off guard, Natsuo attempts to escape, but Ryoji accuses him of stealing the book. Ashihara clears up the misunderstanding, and Ryoji forces Natsuo to join the literature club as a way to make amends. Reluctantly, Natsuo agrees and begins attending club meetings. As Natsuo spends more time with Ashihara, they develop a friendship over their shared interest in romance novels. However, when Ryoji instructs them to kiss each other during a meeting, Natsuo refuses out of concern for Ashihara's feelings. Despite initially being the only members of the club, Natsuo and Ashihara are eventually joined by Rui and Momo, who become interested in the club's activities. On the weekend, Hina thanks Natsuo for not telling their parents about Shu and asks him if they could go out together, and he agrees instantly. Hina takes Natsuo for a ride, and to Natsuo's surprise that Hina is capable of driving a car. Moreover, Hina shares that she also has a bike license. While eating at a fancy restaurant, Hina and Natsuo are mistaken for a cute couple by a waitress, leaving Natsuo blushing, but Hina reveals that they are only siblings. Later, both of them strike up a conversation on a secluded beach. Natsuo asks Hina to go into the sea, but Hina rejects the idea, saying she isn't a kid anymore, where Natsuo becomes curious about Hina's past relationships. Hina reveals a story from her school days with her classmate, revealing to her that she likes a boy but gets jealous when the boy talks to Hina because she is much cuter than her. Hina feels like an outcast and started eating her food alone in the school's lab, where she met Shu as his teacher, and they get closer to each other. After 4th year of college, Hina again runs into Shu and they started dating. As the sun sets, Natsuo shares his novel with Hina that he has finally completed, revealing that the heroine of his novel is Hina herself, and both walks into the water where Natsuo confesses his love for her. Late at night, Rui meets Natsuo and asks him to kiss her because she never done it before. As both kisses, Rui admits that she feels good and leaves. Later, Natsuo hears some voices. He gets out to check but surprisingly finds Hina jerking while calling Shu's name. Natsuo accidentally drops his book and hides behind the stairs as Hina investigates the noise. The following morning, Hina greets Natsuo with a smile and tells him to wake up earlier next time. She leaves, waving at him as she walks away. Natsuo blushes upon seeing Hina's fingers. While writing a novel, Natsuo notices that since the last trip Hina is acting weirdly even though she seems charming. Natsuo decides to get a book from the club for reference when Rui asks him if he has stolen her undies. Natsuo refuses and asks if she wants to go with him for a coffee, but Rui declines the offer. Later at the school, Natsuo bumps into Alex riding a bike who turns out to be a foreign exchange student. Both of them grab coffee at Masaki's cafe. Masaki informs them about an undies thief. While on their way back, Natsuo and Alex catch the thief who stole Rui's undies. Rui visits the police station to bail them out, where Alex falls for her. Despite this, Natsuo tries to introduce Rui to Alex, but Rui becomes upset and leaves. In an attempt to apologize, Natsuo cooks for Rui and she forgives him by kissing him. However, their romantic moment is witnessed by Hina, who becomes upset. Rui then reveals her true feelings to Hina, and Hina decides to move out. During a family outing to a shrine, Natsuo tries to reconcile with Hina, but she initially avoids him and runs away, but Rui is finally able to calm her down with the help of Masaki and Ayano. Eventually, Hina confesses her true feelings and explains that she has to leave to avoid giving in to her feelings. They hold hands as they walk home, suggesting a potential romantic future for the two of them. Hina reveals to Natsuo that she hasn't changed her mind about moving out soon because she wanted it for a long time. Natsuo gets upset when she reveals that it will be convenient for them to meet in secrecy, making him excited. Meanwhile, Rui visits the library where she spots Ryoji and Shu together. Shu reveals that he has broken up with Hina and wants to apologize to her formally. While sitting at Masaki's cafe, Rui orders something expensive on Shu's account. Shu reveals that he has divorced his wife and apologizes. After coming home, Rui meets her sister Hina and starts crying while asking her not to move out, but Hina reconciles with her, saying that she isn't mad at her or anything. Later, while Natsuo enters his room, he comes across a letter from Hina with a key in it of her new apartment. Natsuo, Rui, and their mother help Hina to shift into her new apartment. Afterwards, Natsuo finds Rui looking out of Hina's old room, and surprisingly Rui hugs him. Natsuo replies that he will take care of her as her stepbrother, making Rui disappointed. The following day, Natsuo visits Hina's apartment and watches her sleeping. As soon as she wakes up, Natsuo reveals that he is willing to die for her. Natsuo kisses Hina and informs her that he can't control himself but to go further, but Hina stops his hand, asking to take things slow, leaving a concern in Natsuo's heart. The next day at school, Natsuo confronts Hina to confirm that this feeling flows both ways, to which Hina confesses her feelings and both kiss each other. Natsuo frequently visits Hina's apartment as their relationship deepens. Later, the school organizes a festival where everyone from the literary club participates and ends up with a bonfire night. Meanwhile, Natsuo, Rui, and Ashihara from the literature club decide to visit their literary teacher, Raigi, but Natsuo is surprised to see the facility where Ryoji lives. Upon arriving at Ryoji's apartment, a woman opens the door. Natsuo wonders if she's Ryoji's wife, but Ryoji reveals that she is an editor who works for him. Natsuo eventually discovers that their club supervisor is none other than Yo Hasukawa, a renowned novelist and one of Natsuo's idols. The following day, Natsuo and Rui meets Ashihara. Natsuo teases her by wondering if she is interested in Ryoji, but she blushes and accidentally pushes away Natsuo, resulting him falling down on their stairs. Unfortunately, Natsuo breaks his leg. Hina visits and both feel sad they won't be able to meet each other much and she can't take care of him, but Rui steps in to care for him. The next day, Rui visits Masaki's cafe where she learns that Natsuo isn't visiting Fumiya and confronts Natsuo for his lies, but he said he was visiting Momo in secrecy so Rui won't get mad. The other day, Natsuo informs Rui that he is visiting Fumiya to apologize using his name but goes to Hina. Later, Rui appears and leaves after finding out Natsuo there while feeling hurt and betrayed. In an attempt to understand Natsuo's behavior, Rui reads his novel and realizes that he has feelings for Hina. When Natsuo confronts Rui, she becomes overwhelmed. Eventually, Natsuo finds a way to come clean about everything. Natsuo divulges to Rui about his romantic involvement with Hina. Rui is surprised to learn about their relationship, but she kisses Natsuo, saying that it is the last time. While walking to school together, Rui reveals that she chose to distance herself from them whenever she's away from home. While in class, the teachers announces that the school is going on trip to Okinawa, but Natsuo doesn't seem excited. Hina subsequently meets Natsuo and asks about Rui. Natsuo tells that she doesn't need to worry about their relationship. Later, Natsuo visits his teacher Ryoji asking to make him his apprentice, but Ryoji declines, saying that if Natsuo wants to write novels or just want the title of the novelist. Later at home, Natsuo congratulates Rui for winning the writing competition while deciding to write one novel a week. After some days, the second-year students embark on a trip to the serene beaches of Okinawa. Rui asks to meet Hina privately and reveals that she isn't mad at her and wants her to carry on her relationship with Natsuo, making Hina relieved. Later, while wandering with friends, Natsuo purchases a special ring for Hina. Later that night, Natsuo sneaks into Hina's hotel room to present her with the ring, but Hina attempts to break off their relationship. Natsuo objects to this and puts the ring on her finger. They admire the colorful fireworks display from her room, and Natsuo boldly asks Hina to marry him someday, addressing her by her name for the very first time. After making love, they openly express their feelings to one another. When Hina returns to school, she is summoned by the principal, who shows her a picture of her kissing Natsuo through the hotel window. The principal and the school committee confront Hina about her relationship with Natsuo. Hina admits her mistake and decides to transfer to a faraway school. Natsuo and Rui try to reach out to Hina, but they fail to get in touch with her. However, Natsuo finds a letter from Hina in her empty apartment that explains her decision to transfer and help him move on, stating that she is breaking up with him. Natsuo falls into a state of depression until his friends from the literature club encourage him to write a new novel. Natsuo admits and spent day and night writing a new novel. On New Year's Day, Natsuo and his club present their new novel to Kiria, who later takes Natsuo to an award ceremony where his novel wins the first prize. Overjoyed with his success, Natsuo returns home and mistakes Rui in a wig for Hina. Natsuo hugs her and shares the good news, but Rui runs to her room in tears. Later, Rui and Natsuo discuss his feelings for Hina. Rui then kisses Natsuo and reveals that she won't hold back any longer, and reveals her happiness for having Natsuo all to herself. Meanwhile, two schoolgirls talk with Hina, who seems to have short hair and living far away. Hina smiles as she looks into the distance while reading Natsuo's second novel. If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing to the channel and stay tuned for more quality uploads.